Stuff You Like, and I'm back from the wilds of no internet for weeks and weeks. And I brought some old British TV with me. That's not very descriptive, is it? Let's try again. This is Stuff You Like, and I really love Yes Minister, but watching it again has been a little bit disheartening for two reasons. One, they decided to do a remake a few years back, which just really doesn't hit the spot for me. And two, plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. True, in this day and age, Sir Humphrey Appleby and Jim Hacker MP would have had to deal with social media on top of all of the other things they had to deal with, but in general, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Politicians behaving badly, massive scandals and endemic problems covered up for the sake of reputations or for future blackmail purposes, and always an eye as to what will make you or your party look good in the short term, because long-term plans are for suckers. Plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. I suppose you might not know what that means if you went to the LSE. Of course, I went to the University of Warwick, so... Oh, and everywhere bureaucracy. While Yes Minister's version of the civil service, hidebound, stuffy old boys who went to Oxford together and like opera, is less true than it was, it's still uncomfortably close to the mark in a lot of ways. The plot of Yes Minister goeth thusly. Jim Hacker, some party's MP, is re-elected in the first episode and given the fictional post of Minister for Administrative Affairs. He meets his new staff, including Sir Humphrey Appleby and Bernard Woolley, and they become our main trio. Other important players are Jim's wife Annie and, in Series 1 at least, Frank Weisel, Jim's political advisor. Basically, the plot of most episodes goes, Jim wants to do something, Humphrey tries to stop him, hilarity ensues. Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister were made by the BBC in the early to mid-80s, and they didn't have much of a budget. Sometimes they went outside. Sometimes they filmed on a different set. But that doesn't matter at all, because Yes Minister stands and falls on its words. And it stands largely through the skill of the scriptwriters and the amazing, perfect, beautiful delivery of Sir Nigel Hawthorne. Sir Nigel Hawthorne played Sir Humphrey on stage and screen and won the same BAFTA 4 times for doing so. Without Sir Humphrey Appleby, permanent secretary and then later cabinet secretary, you wouldn't have a series. Jim Hacker is a bumbling politician and Bernard Woolley a relatively young man looking to advance himself in the civil service, but it's Appleby that catches your attention and holds your attention and confuses the heck out of you. Sir Humphrey is an amazing role to play because he is a snake. Polished, lightning-quick master of manipulation, and his speeches, generally given to bewilder and confuse his listeners into submission, are things of highly crafted beauty. Everyone. Even if sometimes they are a little close to the bone. Minister Britain has had the same foreign policy objective for the last 500 years, to create a disunited Europe. In that cause we have fought with the Dutch against the Spanish, with the Germans against the French, with the French and Italians against the Germans, and with the French against the Germans and Italians. You need Hacker's straight man to be there to say, what? Because honestly, you probably have no idea either. And in the middle of Hacker and Appleby, you have Bernard, a man torn between wishing for advancement in his career and personal loyalty to both of his bosses. Hacker wants to make changes because that's what the electorate like, right? Cut down on the red tape. Humphrey is a dinosaur as well as a snake, and one who wants everything to stay exactly as it is. But an extraordinarily clever dinosaur, and so he gets away with it more often than not. Watching them ever so politely battle for control is sheer joy. The most satisfying episode, in my opinion, in Series 1 is Big Brother, because Jim gets one over on Sir Humphrey on the subject of the national database, and it's so satisfying. Because Hacker is a bit shallow and nervy and has pretensions to Churchillian statesmanship without the convictions to back it up, but by gosh, he's right about this thing, and it's such a perfect, delicious victory that you can't help be warmed by it. And I think that's what sells it in the end. By party games, when Humphrey ascends to the post of cabinet secretary and there's a wrangle over who will be the next prime minister, the subsequent series are called Yes Prime Minister, but shh. Pretend you don't know. You genuinely want Jim to get the job. Sure, he's a bit of a wombat, not the brightest button in the box, and often bewildered by his civil service staff, but I, at least, had got rather fond of him. He's better than a lot of the other options. Put it that way. But overall though, when it comes to this show, I'm mostly in it for the words, because I'm a sucker for a natty turn of phrase. And while Sir Humphrey does tend to nabble the best speeches for himself, the others get their turn too, every now and again. And remember, In politics, you have to say things with tact and finesse, you Burke. And on that note, not much remains but to say thank you for watching this episode of Stuff You Like. Thank you for bearing with me while we got the internet sorted down here in the south of England. Such a palaver. And I will see you in 2 weeks, or seemingly at random if I have another Star Wars tutorial scheduled. Which I probably do. Leave a comment if you've seen Yes Minister or Yes Prime Minister, or if you've seen the new one and you enjoyed it. Persuade me. What do you like about it? Thank you as always to my patrons who appeared on the screen mere moments ago, and I will see you next time.